The proper way to hold the stick is about an inch from the puño, or the butt of the stick. The wrist stays locked. It never bends, it never twists. No matter how we strike, the wrist stays locked as if you're holding a hammer. The elbow always stays clipped. We never hold our elbow or arm out. This is how we lose the power when we put it out. By clipping the elbow to our body, we are transferring our body weight to the stick. The way that Balintawak aims our stick on our target is by placing the stick on the part of our body that we're trying to hit on our opponent. So for strikes number 1 and 2, we put it up to our ear. Notice how close my wrist is to my ear, because we're hitting the side of the head. The number 2 side. Number 3, on our ribs, because we're trying to hit the ribs. Number 4, rests on top of our shoulder. Number 5, belly button high. Number 6, we put the stick up to our nipple, chest high. Notice how my elbow's still clipped. Number 7, the same thing. My elbow's clipped. My wrist is locked. 8 and 9, we start high and we hit low to the ground. Notice that my stick is pointing to the ground and my wrist is locked. Same thing with number 9. Stick is pointing to the ground, wrist is locked. 10, eye level. 11, eye level. And 12, to the face. Now for the footwork. Notice that our feet are shoulder width apart. About 80% of our weight is on our front leg. Both knees are slightly bent. My back foot is on the ball of my foot. My weight is centered. Ancheong Bokon called this center balance, and this is the proper position for starting any Balintawak training. We call this starting position. My elbow is at the side. I have a nice 90-degree angle, or think of it as a box. My left hand is up at my chest. It's ready to block high, block low, to grab, to push, to pull, to punch, to stab. So this hand is always at the ready. We never drop this hand. And my eyes are facing forward. 12 strikes. So 12 strikes are basically 12 different angles of attack. And in Balintawak, we start out learning those 12 angles of attack with a stick. But the 12 angles of attack can come as a knife, as an empty hand, with a sword, or any improvised weapon. So here's Jarrell in the ready position, ready to start our 12 strikes. So the first strike, number 1, he brings his hand up to his ear. Notice that his elbows are still clipped, eyes are forward, left hand is up, knees slightly bent, rear foot on the ball of his foot. And when he strikes, he shifts his body weight to his front leg. His back leg goes straight on the ball of his foot, and you can see the stick crossing his head at the temple. That's the perfect position. And of course, his wrist is locked and his elbow is still clipped to the side. Again, number 1, shifts his weight. Again, number 1, brings it back, shifts his weight. Notice that there's a chop at the end. Bring it back, and at the end, chopping as he's putting his weight forward on his forward leg. Strike number 2, Jarrell puts his left foot forward. He puts his stick on his opposite ear, and he's still facing square to his opponent, eyes forward. And when he strikes, he turns his weight and his shoulders to face forward. And again, his weight is on his front leg, and he's striking to the temple of his opponent. Arm is still clipped, and wrist is still locked. Again, hit. Number 2, weight goes back, comes forward. Strike number 3, the stick goes under his arm, touching his ribs. And when he strikes, he turns his weight forward, and he hits his opponent at a 45-degree angle. Again, slowly, starts there, and comes forward and chops at the ribs. And the reason why the stick is at a 45-degree angle is because by hitting the ribs at a 45-degree angle, you're guaranteed to crack more than one rib. If you hit it straight, can you show us a straight hit, Jarrell? You might miss the ribs altogether, or just maybe hit the hanging rib. So in Balintawak, we bring it back, we come down in our stance a little bit, and we chop down as we're striking. Number 4, step back with the left foot. The stick starts on top of our shoulder. Our shoulders are square to our opponent, and he strikes to the other set of ribs, shifting his weight forward, turning his body. Again, starts on top of his shoulder, comes forward, and chops and strikes to the other set of ribs. Number 5, he's going to step forward, leading with his left shoulder. His elbow is still clipped, and his stick is level with his belly button. Can you show us the side position, Jarrell? Notice how his elbow is still clipped, and his weight is on back leg. And his front foot, he's on the ball of his foot, eyes still looking forward, and ready to thrust. This is called a thrust. This is our first thrust. And the thrusting, the power comes from shifting our back leg to our front leg. Number 5. Excellent. Again, number 5. Notice how his arm does not thrust out. The thrust comes from the shifting of the weight. At the end of his thrust, though, he does a little, what I call the Bruce Lee 1-inch punch. Just a little jab. Go ahead. But his hand and stick arm does not extend out. Face forward again. Number 5. Notice how his shoulders stay even. They don't turn. Again, number 5. He's leading with that left shoulder. Number 6. He steps back, and the stick becomes level with his nipple. We call this chest high. And his front elbow is still clipped to the side of his ribs, and he's got his weight on his back leg. Front foot is on the ball of his foot, and he's going to shift his weight for the thrust. Number 6. Again, number 6. Shifting his weight and giving that short jab at the end. Number 6. Number 7, he's going to step forward. Same thing. Nipple high. He's got his weight on his back leg. His front foot is on the ball of the foot, and he's going to shift his weight and thrust. A short jab at the end. Again, number 7. Can we see a side view? 7. Again. 7. Okay. Face forward. From number 7. Okay. Number 8, he's going to step back, and he's going to strike to the knee. Notice as he's striking, he's turning his core, and his weight goes to his front leg. His stick arm is locked and straight, and the stick is pointing to the ground. Again, number 8. And even though he's hitting low, he's still looking forward at his opponent. Do not look where your stick is striking. Always look your opponent in the eye. Number 8. Number 9, step forward. And it starts under the arm. Again, the stick is pointing up, and when he strikes to the knee, pointing to the ground. Notice how his weight shifted again to the front leg. The power of Balintawak strikes is putting your body weight where the stick is. Again, number 9, turn square, and then he shifts his body when he strikes to the knee. Number 10, he's going to step backwards, and his stick is eye level. This is another thrust. So like all thrusts, his weight is on his back leg, elbow is clipped, wrists are locked, looking straight at his opponent. And number 10, thrust. Again, you see that short jab at the end. Number 10. Let's see a side view of that. Number 10. Again, number 10. Let's turn around, face the camera again. Let's get ready for number 11. So number 11 steps forward, and the stick goes eye level on the number 11. Thrust. Same principle with thrust, shifting your weight. Number 11, weights on your back leg and you thrust, weight shift to the front leg. When he shifts, notice his back foot goes on the ball of the foot and the front foot goes flat. Number 11, and then number 11. Number 12. Number 12, he shifts back on his weight and the stick goes above his head, and then he's going to turn facing the camera and the stick is going to go above his head because this is how we aim, right in the middle of the head. And he's going to come down and split his face. Again, as he's coming down, the stick is straight up and down. Come down, and his elbow is clipped. Face that way, and let's see the side view of number 12. Up, come down. Look at his position of his weight. His weight drop with the stick. Again, number 12 comes back, and he drives the stick forward and down. And again, the stick stays straight up and down, and his elbow is clipped. Face forward again. One more number 12. And then we end it in ready position, back to fighting position. So Jarrell is now going to demonstrate strikes 1 to 12, all in sequence. As a beginner, notice that the right foot does not move, only the left foot moves back and forth. Again, Jarrell has his feet shoulder width apart, both knees are slightly bent, his left hand is up at his chest. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Back. Let's see it side view. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And back. Face forward.